Hello, my name is Trevor Hughes and I recently moved into a new home on Crestview Lane. To start, the purpose of the board is to represent the homeowners with all the responsibilities of the day-to-day operations as well as planning for the future. In this context, we are entering a very important stage in the development of Carillon. D.R. Horton are very near the completion of building homes. This means we have to be very diligent in ensuring the final handover to the HOA is done with the best interests of all. In this context, my experience as president of an HOA for the last 5 years and treasurer for 2 years before that gives me an insight into what is involved. This includes my good understanding of the declaration, bylaws, rules and regulations, and pertinent law. My past work in life, managing large software projects to engineering to building spec homes, has taught me to understand how to identify what needs to be done, predict what could go wrong, and ensure the final product is the best possible. We are a young and dynamic community which is growing and changing all the time. Hopefully the coronavirus is being tamed. We are also in the process of integrating the early residents with all the newcomers, and this has to be done in a constructive way. This includes the committees reaching out so that they can advise the board. The board has the responsibility to listen so that even if we cannot satisfy all requests, the homeowner understands the reason. Listening is probably my greatest strength, whether from other board members, homeowners, family, management company, and the community in general. And I promise to listen to whoever it is and give it my utmost attention. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you find it compelling enough to give me your vote. I also endorse Brent Stolzle and Rhode. Thank you for watching this video.
My name is Tom Jauch, and I'm running for re-election to Carillon's Board of Directors. I have lived in Carillon for over 5 years with my wife, Jeanette, and was voted to the first HOA board elected by the residents in 2018. I'm enormously proud of Carillon. When visitors come to visit, their first reaction is how well our residents maintain their properties. The board has faced many challenges during our 3-year transition from the D.R. Horton employee-run board. I'm proud of our board and how we have moved forward from the challenges created from Horton control. We are making progress as the board has had to sort through declarations and rules that were created by the developer. Some have been difficult for residents and even our lawyers to understand. In addition, we have hired an attorney to investigate financial claims against Horton. We are in the process of improving Carillon while keeping a close eye on spending and improving financial stability of the community. The board has put together a group of expert professionals to guide the development of our programs to sustain property values by developing maintenance and repair schedules at a reasonable cost. I have witnessed many subdivision appearances look haggard after 10 to 15 years as the homeowners let their properties fall into neglect. This board is implementing a multi-year maintenance program to preserve all properties through our neighborhoods. These programs include painting, roof replacement, landscaping, road and driveway repairs, and any new capital projects that will enhance Carillon in a reasonable time and value for our residents. While attempting to keep fees low, we also need to assure that future funding is sufficient to make repairs of roads and residential structures for which the HOA is responsible throughout Carillon. I've been asked what makes a good board member. As a person who has worked with many different organizations, I do have several characteristics that I feel are beneficial for a professional and well-run association. To me, it's important to have an individual who desires to work to preserve and improve the community. They should also be eager to suggest alternative ideas. They should be willing to develop dialogue among the board members and eager to enter productive discussions in an open and professional manner. Sometimes disagreements with members in an organization occur, and it's important for everyone to be heard. No one member has more influence over anyone else. The reason a board is made up by multiple members is to listen and determine that the proper action is taken for the community and not personal desires. All the current Carillon board members have these characteristics. My personal background is diverse. I have degrees in economics as well as ornamental horticulture. I owned a landscape construction and maintenance company. My first opportunity to work for a public agency occurred in 1982. I was recruited to become a golf course superintendent. I was eventually promoted to the superintendent of golf and property for the Northbrook Park District. As such, I was responsible for the golf course operations, park and sports fields, maintenance, and concession stands. I developed a multi-million-dollar budget that I had to present to the board of directors. Then, monthly, I reported on the status of the budget, balance sheets, and income statements for each area. After passing a series of written exams and peer reviews of my golf course, I was allowed to become designated as a certified golf course superintendent as granted by the Golf Course Superintendents Association. I then moved on to the private sector working for a golf course management company for over 25 years. I was the management liaison for many municipalities including the Cary Park District, Kane County Forest Preserve, City of Richmond, Virginia, Janesville and New Berlin, Wisconsin, as well as approximately 20 other private and public entities. Additionally, our company was involved with at least 15 golf course management transitions where we would replace the golf operation from its former management company. We also had the responsibility for opening newly constructed facilities for play and operating management. It was a constant challenge. I also had the opportunity to build and remodel golf courses throughout the country. My greatest memory was working with Arnold Palmer on 3 of his designs. I have many goals for Carillon, and most involve the preservation of our property values. However, if finances allow, my pipe dream is clubhouse expansion. I would like to add an addition to the west of the clubhouse onto the pool deck. The addition could possibly have a second floor for even more space. Then a new pool would have to be built to the west of the existing pool area approaching the cart path. This expansion could double the size of the existing pool and would be built as a zero-depth entry so residents could walk into the pool as if they were at a beach. I have worked on 2 clubhouse remodels like what I propose, and the costs were significantly lower than building facilities at a different location. As a 3-year member of your HOA board, I am hoping you appreciate what has been accomplished. I thank those of you who have encouraged me and the board. I hope you will continue your support. Thank you.
Hello, how are you today? My name is Richard Rhode. I'm running for the HOA board for a director. I thank you for being with me today so I can explain to you everything about myself. I am naturally a resident here in Carillon for 3 years. I've been married for 49 years to the love of my life, Diane. We actually have 3 grandchildren. Okay, actually 6 grandchildren, and we have 2 grand dogs. Right? And we first came here to see my cousin when he first moved in. We fell in love with the place, and we're still here now, and I recommend it to everybody. What's nice about what we're doing today is Helen, and I thank her, she's put together some questions. All of the people running have a chance to answer each of the questions so that you guys can make a sound decision. Myself, my personal information, I already started giving it to you. I'm a college graduate from Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. My experience is a retail store manager. I was a district manager, regional manager for over 35 years in charge of total operations of a store, including budgets, personnel, and all the conditions of the building, and all the associates, their well-being. I owned my own installation business for 10 years. I lived in Roselle for 14 years. While there, I believe that you should be active in your community. I was the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals for 5 years, and I served on as a village trustee for 14 years. I also was on the Schaumburg Airport Board as an advisor. I believe in an actual member of the community has to be here all the time talking to people. You work with everybody, play with everybody, and have a lot of fun. The first question is describe the characteristics of an ideal board member and why this is me, describes me. As a board member, I believe you should be approachable. You should love this community. You need to listen and ask questions before speaking. Make sure all board members and residents are informed and have total transparency. We're all in this together, so there's no reason why we can't keep each other aware of what's going on in our community. As a village trustee and the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals, I was always available to the residents to discuss issues and work toward a solution for the betterment of all. The next question, what background and qualification do you have that would be unique and valuable to the community? As the community moves forward with the outside involvement of local, county, state government, my 14 years experience as a former village trustee working with various governments has equipped me with the ability to effectively communicate with all levels of local government and would serve for the betterment of Carillon, especially with regards to the new Horton development. As a trustee, I was involved with many PUD developments in Roselle from start to finish, and I also was in charge of the budgets. The next question, explain your experiences serving the public, if any. Well, as a village trustee, we had a meeting every other Monday night. Always was there. Residents would come in, talk to us at any time we wanted. Same with the Zoning Board of Appeals. Naturally, in retail management, I operated my buildings from the floor, and you're talking to customers all the time. The main issue is to take care of the people that shop here or live with you, like here. Next question, name something you feel is going well for the community and something you feel needs improvement. Although COVID is still with us, we do see some improvement in our way of life. Let's stay being hopeful together that we can keep beating this and stay all together and still have happiness. I am monitoring Horton's new development on the north side of town. That's what I feel is the biggest thing that we need to be watching. I feel this is very important. We need to follow it closely so as to keep our community safe. I've attended the village board meetings and made my comments known, as well as talking personally to the mayor, village manager, and village attorney regarding our development. Talk to them about how large the development is over there, and really we should be discussing this. We don't need the rental properties. Next question. Explain one thing you would look forward to accomplish if elected. To ensure Horton development is not a detriment to our communities, the number one issue for all of us to be looking at too. We moved in here, as everybody always says, we bought what we saw. This is a gorgeous place. We don't need this destroyed. So I will need all of your help, as well as the other board members. We need to solve this so this doesn't destroy us. I love this community and all the people here. It is truly a great place to live. I hope to help continue this positive interaction with all residents so this community remains a wonderful place to live in the years to come. The next question, how do you handle conflict and working with others, especially when difficult decisions have to be made? Well, I need to understand what the problem is, know what happens or what happened, what the conflict is, what has been done so far. All my years in management has taught me to learn to work through the problems together with everyone involved and keep everybody informed and quickly work through the problems. The last question, how do you envision Carillon in 10 years? We are all happier than we've ever been, and I want us to keep it going that way. It would be nice to have a new indoor sports building so we could, the weather that we live in, have a place that we can actually enjoy the sports all year long in bad weather and that. I'm available anytime somebody, if my contact information is up, call me please, be more than happy to talk to you. I really would appreciate your opinions and I treasure your thoughts. And please vote for me. Thank you, God bless Carillon.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Joe Stevens, and I'm an incumbent for the HOA board running for re-election. For the past term, I have served as your board president. First, I'd like to tell you my initial reasons for running and then why I'm choosing to run again. When Horton first turned this property over to the residents, I felt several things needed to be done to set a direction for future boards. Those directions were to validate that our financial position was sustainable, initial action against Horton for things that should have been done during their time of control, and to bring our community up to the good repair for those things that Horton had let slide, and to position ourselves through a reserve study analysis for the future financial needs and to change management companies that were too tied to Horton from the very beginning. Most of those things have been accomplished. We have a new management company, First Service Residential, and our expenses for this service was decreased by 38%, a significant savings. Next, our reserve study has been completed, and we're now funding it at the proper level for a number of homes we have. The last item that comes to mind is the retention agreement we recently signed with 2 lawyers who are taking our Horton case fully on a contingency. That means we have no fees to pay the attorney unless we win our case. If we don't win anything, we don't pay anything. Also, the attorneys that we have engaged have stellar reputations, and one, in fact, has recently won a judgment against Horton for $13 million. Not too shabby. We are hopeful of winning our case, but only time will tell. My reason for running again is to protect our progress and to see the action against Horton a little bit further. The case will involve people that have knowledge and history of what's gone on here in our community, such as the lack of maintenance causing us to have to invest a $50,000 repair to our outdoor swimming pool in our very first year of operation under the resident control. Something that should not have been necessary for another 8 or more years. I have also vowed throughout my service to you to maintain what we already have, not to discontinue any amenities. I continue to maintain that stand. I want residents to be able to predict when something is done. For example, driveway maintenance is now done on an every other year basis. 1 year it's attached homes, next year single family homes. Mulch every 3rd year, and so on. Our snow and landscape contract has moved towards a more all-inclusive design and has several more years to go. More on landscape in just a bit. I also want to see improvements to the community as finances allow, which will in turn increase property values. I would like finally to get our exit gates operating 24/7. I would like to see some beautification of our ponds done incrementally. I would like to see our clubhouse kitchen expanded to include a warming food capacity, possibly even some minor cooking. A likely not achievable dream in any time soon, but one that I have, would be to have a restaurant bar on our site for residents to use. I have been in many communities where this is done in conjunction with their clubhouse, and they're very popular. Del Webb, just down the street off of 47, has Jameson's restaurant and bar, and I don't know if they're connected to the clubhouse or not, but I know it's a very popular draw for people, and it likely produces revenue for the HOA to help keep their costs low. Now, to respond to the standard questions put together for all candidates, I believe an ideal board member knows what they're getting involved in and recognizes the amount of time that needs to be committed to. A board member needs to take on projects, educate themselves, and work well with others, and learn to negotiate and compromise. Nobody gets their way all the time. During my tenure, our board has worked very well together, and it is because we have 7 people currently who are as I described. I have been in leadership positions all my life. In my teens, I was the lead conductor for the famous Phantom Regiment Drum and Bugle Corps out of Rockford. My work career saw me as the president of a company that I had developed, and later as the vice president of Sherman Health, now known as Advocate Sherman Aurora. I have been on the Algonquin School Board for over 15 years and have served as president and vice president and secretary. I have been the chairman of the board for the Elgin Family Care Center, now on over 20 different locations. And as I mentioned, I have served this community, our community, as your president. If I am reelected, I look forward to serving with those board members who are continuing on with their service and any new board members that will come on now. I want to see the Horton legal action begin to develop some steam and move forward. I want to know that we have funds to fix or replace our roads when they need it. I want to see our landscaping problems finally resolved. I'd like to see green grass on every lawn, and the kinds of problems that we've had over the last 2 years not continue. I take strong positions on things, but I'm very open to discussion and listening to new or different ideas. It is in fact what all existing board members do, and it works very well. In 10 years, I hope the Carillon is thriving, property values have consistently risen, and people love living here. As those of you who know me can attest, I encourage people to speak up at meetings. I have not imposed limits on time as most HOA boards have done, and I have encouraged involvement. I also speak very plainly, and to some, my directness makes them uncomfortable. Others see it as an asset. One of the things I've learned while serving in this community and the number of people that we have is that it's not possible to please everyone all of the time. There will always be those who oppose a position or a person. My job, as I see it, is to serve the community at large and to help those who disagree to voice their opinion and to get involved. Being a board member is not an easy job and is time consuming. There is a learning curve, and I feel I've been serving this community to the best of my ability. And if you agree, I would appreciate your vote to allow me to continue to service with you. Thank you for watching, and give me a call if you have any questions. I'd be very happy to talk to you.
Hello, Carillon residents. This is Brent Stolzle. I live on Prescott Lane with my wife, Margaret, and I'm running for the board in this election in October. I wanted to give you a little bit of information about myself. As you can see in my profile, I moved here from South Louisiana in 1992 to work for Motorola, and I had about a 30-year IT career that I retired from in 2018. My wife and I, after moving here, we really enjoyed it, and it kind of exceeded our expectations. And so one of the reasons I'm running is I have the time and I have a kind of a commitment to this community. I want to see it continue to prosper. I think it's done well under the current management and the board. I'd like to continue on that foundation and build for a better foundation. So those are the primary drivers, reasons for me wanting to run for the board. And if elected, I would try to further some of the things that have already begun here and move us into the future. Hopefully, with my technical background, it might come in handy to help us with things that are technical. I know there are a few things that they wanted us all to speak about, and one of them was the ideal characteristics of a board member. And so one of the things that I thought about in this question was that probably the most important one is that you live here, obviously, and that you care about this community, and that you have the time and the commitment to do the business of the association and the board. So I do have those things, and I do care about the people. I've met some of you and look forward to meeting the rest of you. I know it's been a challenging time in the last year and a half. Another one is the kind of the common sense approach that I bring to decisions and just general day-to-day business challenges that we may have. I've spent a lot of time in my career having to address those types of things and making decisions about with individuals and contracts and vendors, service level agreements, and those things. Also, I think a good characteristic is be open to feedback and to try not to let ego get in the way, and to be a good listener. I think I've developed those characteristics, and I would bring that to bear on my position here on the board if elected. Some of the background qualifications that I have that are unique to me is probably my technical background. That's the one that is most distinguishes me, I think, from maybe some of the other board members working in IT for as long as I did. There are some technical challenges that I think I would be able to offer a lot of help and assistance with. So they want to know if we serve the public in any way. So I thought about this question a bit. I haven't done a lot of volunteer work. I did do some when I worked with my last company or Donnelly for about 15 years. I was with the Inclusion Council, and so we did some days where we would go out and help seniors and disabled folks, that couldn't do fall cleanup, and we would help them with that. I also was a teacher at Harper College for about 20 years, so I certainly was, in their continuing education department, teaching IT stuff, infrastructure technology courses there. And I Also brought the Citizens Utility Board here to the Carillon to talk about some of the incentives with solar panel installations, as well as community solar and other ways to save on utility bills for the residents here. For about a year, I brought them out here maybe 3 or 4 times. So another thing they wanted us to know is what I feel is going well for the community and what I'd like to improve upon or see improve. One of the things I think is going well for the community is just overall how the board and Helen have been managing this community. I think they've done a really good job in building a foundation. I was here before the board was handed over to the residents, and so I was here for a couple of years with D.R. Horton and saw, kind of what was going on there and all the work that was needed. So a lot of work has been done, and so there's been a really good foundation in my view. If elected, I would help continue with that foundation and build upon that. Some of the things I think that we might be able to do different or better is based on the last year and a half, I think there may be a need for more virtual and remote type of activities or opportunities or offerings. So I would like to explore that a bit more. And expanding the clubhouse. As we grow to our full capacity here, which I think is maybe another 100 or so homes and households, and we can all get back to the clubhouse. I think that we need to look at ways to expand our capabilities here for people to have and experience the clubhouse. One of the things that I'd look forward to accomplishing if elected during my 2-year term would be to expand the virtual remote offerings to see if we can do something in that space as well as the clubhouse. What I just mentioned I think could use improvement. I'd like to see those things, some progress made on those fronts. Handling conflict with others, and especially with difficult decisions, this is always challenging. There's in my experience, there's almost anything that people are going to disagree about, or there's very little that people won't disagree about. So you're not going to always get 100% agreement on anything. And conflict is often good as long as it's respectful and it doesn't get disrespectful. So I think being a good listener, trying to de-escalate if things get a little heated, and taking a step back and working towards not letting ego get involved. That's always difficult with human beings, but so just being aware of those and having experience in dealing with problem situations, which I have in my career and in my life, and as many of us have. So I think those are the things that help in those situations the most, and just being as forthright and upfront as possible and honest about any decision that may be folks strongly disagree with, just providing the reasoning and the rationale for that. So those are the main ways that I've handled conflict. How do I envision Carillon in 10 years? I'd like to see it continue to grow and prosper. I think it's thriving. We've had a setback with the restrictions and the pandemic and all of that's forced us into doing things differently and less than doing less than what we had been. But I'd like for us to maintain the current set of amenities. I know that the board has been committed to doing, and I agree with that, and to offer additional things to expand upon those, and to maintain our home values, which is always important, and one of the reasons for homeowners associations, one of the primary reasons for them. So yeah, definitely that, and we're as people come and go, people, there are good quality folks that want to move to our community. So to kind of sum things up, I think the most important characteristics that that I have is that I care about the people of this community. I care about the community because we enjoy it so much, and I want to see it prosper and grow. I also have the time and the commitment to do the board's business if elected to the board. So I thank you for your time and watching this video, and for your consideration. Be safe and be well, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.